Everything you desire is already within you. There is no need to seek approval, validation, or recognition from the outside world. The world is only a reflection of your inner state, and the more you focus on yourself, the more you shape your reality. Silence is not weakness, it is power. In stillness, your imagination takes form, and what you assume in the quiet chambers of your mind will soon be seen in the world around you. Speak less, assume more. Withdraw from the noise of opinions, distractions, and doubts. Instead, turn inward and craft the life you desire through the certainty of your own vision. Everything that happens in your life is a reflection of what is happening within you. The world is not separate from you, it is the mirror that reveals the state of your inner mind. If you look around and see chaos, lack, or struggle, it is not because the world is against you, but because something within you is assuming those conditions as real. Change does not begin by fighting the outer world. It begins by transforming the assumptions you hold in the quiet spaces of your mind. Most people believe that life happens to them, that circumstances dictate their fate, and that they are at the mercy of forces outside of their control. But this is the greatest illusion. The truth is that your reality is shaped by the thoughts you consistently entertain, the beliefs you hold without question, and the assumptions you accept as fact. Everything you see, every experience you encounter, is the result of what you have accepted as true within yourself. This is why focusing on yourself is the key to changing your world, because you are the cause and the world is only the effect. You do not need to chase success, love, or abundance. You only need to become the person who naturally experiences those things. The world cannot give you anything you have not first claimed internally. If you assume yourself to be lacking, you will continue to encounter situations that affirm that assumption. If you assume yourself to be wealthy, even in the absence of physical proof, life will begin to mold itself to that belief. It is not the struggle or the effort that brings change, it is the assumption. The moment you shift internally, reality has no choice but to follow. Think of a person who constantly experiences failure. To them, it may seem like bad luck, like an unshakable pattern that follows them no matter what they do. They try harder, they look for external solutions, but nothing changes. Why? Because deep within, they have already accepted failure as part of their identity. They expect it, they assume it, and so the world continues to reflect that assumption back to them. No amount of external action can override an internal belief. The only way to change their reality is to change what they assume to be true about themselves. Likewise, a person who experiences success repeatedly does not need to force their way through life. They move with confidence, knowing that the world will always align with them. They do not hope for success, they assume it. They do not question whether they are worthy, they know they are. This is why their path unfolds with ease, because they do not resist the natural flow of what they have already accepted internally. This is the secret to manifestation. The world does not operate on chance or randomness. It is responding moment by moment to the assumptions you hold. Every circumstance, every opportunity, and every obstacle is simply a reflection of what you have dominantly focused on within your own consciousness. If you wish to change the reflection, do not fight the mirror, change the source. This is why focusing on yourself is the most powerful thing you can do. Instead of reacting to the world, shape your inner world. Instead of trying to control outcomes, control your inner dialogue. The external world is merely an echo of the thoughts, beliefs, and feelings you entertain daily. Every assumption is a seed planted, and every seed must grow into form. The only question is, what are you planting? The mistake many people make is believing that they must first see evidence before they can believe in something. But belief does not follow evidence. Evidence follows belief. If you wait for the world to change before you change your assumptions, you will wait forever. The transformation happens the moment you accept a new reality internally. Assume abundance and the opportunities will appear. Assume love and the relationships will form. Assume success and the path will clear. This is not wishful thinking. This is the law that governs reality. Everything begins within, and nothing can manifest in your world without first being accepted in your mind. The key is not to force the external world into alignment, but to focus on yourself and bring your inner world into harmony with the life you desire. The world has no choice but to conform. Silence is a force few understand. In a world that thrives on noise, distraction, and constant validation, the ability to remain quiet is a rare and powerful skill. Most people believe that power comes from speaking loudly, proving their worth, or making their presence known. But true power is not in words. It is in the quiet confidence of knowing who you are and what you are creating. The moment you learn to keep your plans, your dreams, and your transformation to yourself, you step into a level of control that few ever experience. Everything begins in the unseen. Every great shift, every manifestation, and every success story is first conceived in silence. It is in the depths of your own mind that your future is formed, long before the world can see any evidence of it. When you constantly speak about what you are doing, you dissipate your energy. You invite doubt, external opinions, and unnecessary resistance. The more you explain yourself, the more you give others permission to project their own fears onto your vision. The truth is, not everyone is meant to understand your path, and not everyone will support your transformation. This is why silence is essential. There is an unseen energy that moves when you keep your plans to yourself. When you refrain from announcing your next move, you keep your energy contained, focused, and undiluted. Most people scatter their energy by talking too much, seeking validation, and explaining themselves to those who were never meant to understand their journey. In doing so, they weaken the very force that is meant to bring their desires into reality. The more you talk, the more you invite interference. But when you remain silent, you allow the universe to work on your behalf without disruption. There is also a psychological advantage to silence. When people do not know your next move, they cannot sabotage it. When they do not know what you are thinking, they cannot influence you with their doubts. Silence gives you the upper hand, not because you're hiding, but because you are protecting what is sacred. There is wisdom in keeping your desires close to your heart, nurturing them in the privacy of your own mind, and allowing them to take root before exposing them to the world. Just as a seed must remain underground before it sprouts, your vision must be protected before it is ready to be revealed. Many people speak too soon. They share their dreams before they have even fully believed in them. They announce their goals before they have built the inner foundation to sustain them. And when they are met with resistance, doubt, or negativity, they begin to question themselves. This is how dreams are killed before they even have a chance to grow. The world is full of those who project their own limitations onto others. Some will doubt you out of their own fears. Others will discourage you because they cannot imagine doing what you are doing. Some may even envy you and subtly hope for your failure. The less you say, the less room you give for these energies to interfere. Silence also builds mystery, and mystery commands respect. When you are always talking about what you are going to do, people lose interest. They stop taking you seriously. But when you move quietly, making progress without explanation, others begin to watch. They begin to wonder. They see your results but do not understand how they came to be. This is the power of silent success. It confuses those who doubted you and inspires those who are paying attention. The loudest in the room is rarely the most powerful. It is the one who speaks the least and accomplishes the most who holds true influence. Mastering silence does not mean isolating yourself. It means becoming intentional about where you place your energy. Not everyone needs access to your thoughts. Not everyone deserves to know your plans. The fewer people who know, the fewer people who can interfere. Some will argue that secrecy is unnecessary, but those who understand energy know that silence is a tool. It is a shield. It is a strategy. When you speak less, you listen more. When you listen more, you understand more. And when you understand more, you move with precision and purpose. There is a reason the most powerful forces in life operate in silence. The wind moves without announcement. The tides shift without explanation. The sun rises and sets without asking for permission. Nature does not seek validation, nor does it explain itself. It simply moves according to its own power, trusting its own rhythm. This is the way you must operate. Move in silence. Build in silence. Transform in silence. Let the results speak for themselves. The moment you begin to focus on yourself and walk a different path, the world will have something to say. People will question your choices, doubt your abilities, and project their own fears onto you. They will tell you what is realistic, what is possible, and what you should or should not do. But none of it matters. What others think is irrelevant to your journey because they are not living your life. You are. The opinions of others are merely reflections of their own beliefs, experiences, and limitations, not yours. Many people live their entire lives seeking approval, adjusting their actions to fit into what others find acceptable. They hold themselves back because they fear judgment. They hesitate because they worry about criticism. But the truth is, no matter what you do, people will always have something to say. If you succeed, they will question how you did it. If you struggle, they will assume you made the wrong choice. If you stay the same, they will criticize your lack of progress. There is no winning when you live for the approval of others. The only way to truly win is to stop caring and focus entirely on yourself. Most of the people who question your path are not doing it out of wisdom but out of fear. They fear stepping outside their own comfort zone, so they try to keep you inside it with them. They fear taking risks, so they tell you not to take them. They fear failure, so they project that fear onto you. But their fears are not your responsibility. You are not obligated to live a small life just because others are afraid to expand their own. When you start ignoring outside opinions, you free yourself to grow beyond what anyone thought was possible for you. The more you listen to others, the more disconnected you become from yourself. Every time you let someone else's words plant doubt in your mind, you weaken your own power. Every time you allow someone to dictate what is best for you, you give up control of your own destiny. And the more you do this, the further you drift from the life you were meant to live. You were not meant to conform, to seek validation, or to fit into the expectations of others. You were meant to create, to evolve, and to rise beyond what even you once believed was possible. But this can only happen when you stop allowing outside noise to dictate your direction. Some people will never understand you, and that is okay. They are not supposed to. Your vision is yours alone. You do not need to explain yourself. You do not need to convince anyone. You do not need permission. The moment you realize this, you will feel a freedom that most people never experience. You will move differently. You will trust yourself more. You will make decisions based on what is right for you, not based on what others think you should do. And that is when everything will begin to change. There will always be people who doubt you, but their doubts do not define you. There will always be people who question your path, but their questions do not require an answer. What truly matters is what you believe about yourself. If you believe in your vision, that is enough. If you trust in your path, that is enough. If you are willing to put in the work, that is enough. The opinions of others will never create your reality, only your own belief will. The greatest mistake you can make is allowing outside voices to drown out your own. When you seek approval, you give others control over your life. When you worry about what others think, you hesitate instead of moving forward. When you try to please everyone, you end up pleasing no one, including yourself. The only way to truly succeed is to block out the noise, trust your own intuition, and keep moving forward, regardless of what anyone says. The people who doubt you today will be the same people who wonder how you did it tomorrow. The same ones who question your choices will eventually wish they had done the same, but by then it will not matter because you will already be ahead, living the life you chose, free from the weight of their opinions. Stay focused, stay determined, ignore the outside world, and watch how quickly everything falls into place. What you assume to be true in your mind becomes the reality you experience. Every event, every circumstance, and every opportunity in your life is shaped by the assumptions you hold about yourself and the world. The mind is not a passive observer. It is the creator of everything you encounter. When you truly understand this, you realize that life is not happening to you, it is responding to you. It is not external forces that dictate your fate, but rather the beliefs and assumptions you hold within. Many people believe they must wait for proof before they can believe something is possible. They look at their current circumstances, and if they do not see evidence of success, love, or abundance, they assume it is out of reach. But the truth is the opposite. What you assume internally will eventually harden into fact externally. The world is a mirror, reflecting back to you the dominant thoughts and expectations you carry. If you assume that things never work out for you, you will continue to attract situations that reinforce that belief. If you assume that success is inevitable, the world will begin shifting in ways that support that assumption. Most people do not realize that they are constantly manifesting their reality through their assumptions. They believe that life is unpredictable, full of random events outside their control, but nothing is random. Every experience is a direct reflection of what you have accepted as true. This is why two people can be in the same situation and yet experience completely different realities. One may see only obstacles and struggle, while the other sees opportunities and success. The difference is not in the situation itself, but in the assumptions each person holds. You do not need to wait for things to change before you believe in a new reality. You must assume it first, even when there is no physical evidence. This is the secret that separates those who achieve their desires from those who remain stuck in the same patterns. The mind does not differentiate between what is real and what is imagined. It simply accepts whatever you consistently impress upon it. When you assume something to be true with conviction, your subconscious mind accepts it as fact, and the external world begins to conform to that new belief. This is why you must become intentional about the assumptions you hold. Every thought you entertain, every belief you accept, is shaping the life you are living. If you constantly assume struggle, lack, and limitation, you will find yourself trapped in those conditions. But if you assume ease, abundance, and success, your reality will begin shifting to reflect those new assumptions. It is not about forcing change in the outer world. It is about shifting internally and allowing the outer world to follow. People often say they will believe in their success when they see it. But this is the wrong approach. You will see it when you believe it first. Everything you desire already exists in potential, but it cannot take shape in your life until you assume it is yours. If you assume wealth, you will begin to attract the opportunities, ideas, and connections that lead to wealth. If you assume love, you will naturally embody the energy that draws loving relationships into your life. The assumption must come first, and reality will adjust accordingly. Doubt is the only thing that stands in the way of manifestation. The moment you question whether your assumption is true, you begin to undo the work you have done. This is why many people struggle to create the changes they desire. They allow their current circumstances to dictate their beliefs instead of standing firm in their assumptions. The key is to hold on to your assumption, regardless of what the outside world looks like. Even when reality has not yet caught up, remain unwavering in your belief. It is this persistence that forces the external world to conform. There is nothing outside of you that is more powerful than the assumptions you hold. The people you meet, the opportunities that arise, and the experiences you have are all shaped by your inner world. If you want to change your life, change what you assume to be true about yourself and your circumstances. Stop looking at what is and start focusing on what you desire to be. Assume it as fact. Live in the feeling of that assumption and allow the world to catch up. The moment you take control of your assumptions, you take control of your entire reality. Everything you seek is already within you. The success, the love, the wealth, the transformation. It is not something outside of you that you must chase, but something you must awaken from within. The greatest illusion people fall into is believing that their desires exist somewhere out there, separate from them, waiting to be attained. But nothing is separate. The external world is simply a reflection of your internal state. When you stop searching outside and start cultivating the feeling of already having what you want, you begin to shape reality to match that inner conviction. Most people live in a state of wanting. They desire change, but their focus remains on the absence of what they want. They look at their current situation, and if it does not yet reflect their desires, they reinforce the belief that they do not have it. This is where they go wrong. The moment you feel that something is missing, you place yourself in a state of lack. And as long as you persist in that state, your reality will continue to mirror that lack back to you. The secret to shifting your reality is to move from wanting to knowing. Instead of hoping for success, assume you are already successful. Instead of longing for love, feel as though you are already loved. Instead of waiting for abundance, embody the mindset of someone who already has more than enough. This shift in consciousness is not just a mental exercise, it is a deep inner transformation. The world does not give you what you want, it gives you what you are. And the only way to become something is to feel it as real now, before any physical proof appears. People who understand this principle no longer operate from a place of desperation or impatience. They do not look at their circumstances for validation. They do not need to see proof before they believe in their desires. They create from within. They hold on to their inner reality so firmly that the external world has no choice but to align with it. This is how true transformation occurs, not through force, struggle, or external effort, but through inner alignment. Everything you have ever manifested in your life has come from your inner state. The moments of success, the opportunities that appeared, the relationships that unfolded, all of them were reflections of your dominant feelings and assumptions at the time. The problem is that most people create unconsciously. They allow their current reality to dictate their internal state, reacting to life instead of deliberately shaping it. They see lack, so they feel lack. They experience delays, so they assume things are difficult. And by doing so, they continue reinforcing the very circumstances they wish to escape. To break this cycle, you must become intentional about the state you embody. If you want to experience a new reality, you must first feel it internally, regardless of what your senses tell you. This requires discipline. It requires ignoring what appears to be real and instead trusting what you know to be true within. It means holding on to the feeling of success even when there is no visible evidence of it yet. It means walking through life as though everything you desire is already yours, knowing that reality will adjust to match that state of being. This is not wishful thinking, it is the way reality works. Everything you have ever achieved first began as a feeling, a belief, an assumption in your mind. The challenge is that most people do not sustain these inner states long enough for them to materialize. They get impatient, they look at their circumstances, and they allow doubt to creep in. The moment they do this, they return to their old state, and reality simply mirrors it back to them. The key is persistence. You must hold on to your new state as if it is already your reality, refusing to be swayed by what appears to be. When you operate this way, things begin to shift effortlessly. The right people show up, opportunities align, circumstances rearrange themselves in ways you could not have planned. But none of it happens by accident. It happens because you finally claimed what was always meant to be yours. You did not wait for proof. You did not seek validation. You simply became the person who already had it. And the world responded accordingly. This is the true power of creation, and it is available to you the moment you decide to embody what you desire instead of waiting for the world to give it to you. Silence is the most powerful tool you have in a world that thrives on noise. The moment you withdraw your energy from unnecessary conversations, distractions, and the opinions of others, you reclaim a level of power that most people will never experience. Silence is not weakness, it is control. It is the ability to resist the urge to explain yourself, to defend your decisions, or to seek validation from those who do not understand your path. When you master the art of silence, you become untouchable. You no longer react to negativity. You no longer feel the need to prove yourself. You operate on an entirely different level, where your energy is reserved for what truly matters. Most people give away their power through their words. They share their plans before they have taken action. They announce their goals before they have built the discipline to achieve them. They seek approval from others, hoping that validation will give them the confidence to move forward. But in doing so, they weaken their vision. The moment you speak of something too soon, you open the door for doubt, criticism, and energy that can disrupt the manifestation process. This is why those who are truly successful move in silence. They build in private. They grow without making noise. And when they finally reveal their success, it speaks for itself. Silence is a shield. It protects your energy from those who do not have your best interests at heart. Not everyone is meant to know your next move. Not everyone is worthy of access to your plans. When you speak too much, you invite unnecessary opinions and projections that can plant doubt in your mind. Even well-meaning people can discourage you, not because they want to see you fail, but because they are projecting their own fears onto you. Their reality is not your reality. Their limitations do not apply to you. This is why it is crucial to keep your visions protected until they have fully materialized. The most powerful individuals understand the value of keeping their thoughts and movements private. They do not reveal their next steps until the work is already done. They do not waste energy on arguments or proving themselves to those who will never understand them. Instead, they let their results speak. There is a quiet strength in knowing that you do not need to be loud to be effective. The less you say, the more people wonder. The less you explain, the more people respect your presence. Silence also allows you to remain focused. The more you speak about something, the more you invite unnecessary energy into your process. When you are silent, your mind remains clear, your intentions remain pure, and your actions become more deliberate. You are not distracted by the noise of the world because you have learned to operate in your own space, unaffected by outside influences. This level of focus is what separates those who talk about success from those who actually achieve it. When you do speak, let your words carry weight. Speak with intention, choose your words wisely, and never feel the need to over-explain yourself. People who talk too much are often trying to convince themselves as much as they are trying to convince others. But those who are truly confident in their path do not need validation. They do not need to be understood. They simply do the work, knowing that everything they desire is already unfolding. Your silence is your power. It allows you to observe more, to understand more, and to move without interference. It keeps you in control of your own destiny, free from the influence of those who do not see your vision. And when the time is right, when the results are undeniable, you will not have to say anything at all. Your success will be the only proof you need. Everything you desire is already within you, waiting to be claimed. The moment you shift your assumptions, hold your inner vision with unwavering belief, and move in silence, the world begins to align in your favor. Reality does not shape your thoughts shape reality. When you focus entirely on yourself, free from external distractions, doubts, and the need for validation, you reclaim your power as the creator of your life. Silence is not emptiness, it is control. It is the space where true transformation happens. While others are busy talking, proving, and seeking approval, you are building, evolving, and manifesting. The less you explain, the more you achieve. The less you react, the more you command respect. The less you seek validation, the more you align with your highest self. Your journey is yours alone. It is not meant to be understood by everyone. It is not meant to be shared before it is complete. Move with certainty, assume your success before you see it, and allow the world to catch up. The greatest transformations happen in silence, and when the time is right, your results will speak louder than any words ever could.